Welcome! I am Lana, and I will be your guide through the Shell Lindstrom Museum of Fine Arts presents a Renaissance Retrospective, Humanism and Secularism. The Shell Lindstrom Museum of Fine Arts thanks you for your support. When you are ready to begin your tour, proceed right and plug your headphones into the jack provided. Proceed right, please. What are humanism and secularism? What do they have to do with Renaissance artwork? And how did Renaissance artists in their work demonstrate the principles of humanism and secularism? Humanism, by the definition of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is the revival of classical letters, individualistic and critical spirit, and the emphasis on secular concerns of the Renaissance period. What does this mean in the terms of art in the Renaissance, however? Renaissance art historians such as Kate Graham and Asphal Isbrahim state that qualities such as the use or presence of mathematics in artwork, classical architecture, such as domes and arches, and the allusions to Greek and Roman gods and goddesses, as well as scenes from mythology. Characteristics of humanism that show up in paintings can also include philosophical themes and the lack of focus from the values of the Roman Catholic Church. An example of this would be a painting that has a steeple in the background, however, it's not the main focus of the painting. The steeple is being pushed to the back, and the focus is being on a secular activity. Secularism, by the definition of the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is the belief that religion should not play a role in government, education, or other public parts of society. Historian and expert on early civilizations Robert Bluestein states that secular paintings in the Renaissance include characteristics such as secular activities or activities that have no correlation with the Roman Catholic Church, paintings that feature landscapes, the celebration of human relationships or human nature, and the unique artistic style or an artist's signature. What these two terms have in common is that they both don't have ties with the Catholic Church. After the outbreak of the plague, many people began to question religion, many artists as well. They began to express it in their works, focusing their subjects less on the Catholic aspects and more on humanist and secular aspects, rather than painting a picture of Jesus. Please proceed your slide to the right. The Arnolfini portrait contains examples of humanism and secularism. The Arnolfini portrait was done by Jan van Eyck, circa 1434. It was a portrait of Giovanni di Niccolò Arnolfini and his wife, along with his dog. It displays examples of humanism and secularism. Examples of humanism in this painting include the usage of mathematics that was shown in the details of the mirror in the back of the room. It showed Jan van Eyck painting the painting, along with the backs of his subjects. Mathematical techniques such as linear perspective and background and foreground were also used, which is the use of academics, which in turn represents humanism. Characteristics that represent secularism include that there are no aspects that connect to the Catholic Church in the painting, and that the Arnolfini portrait depicts a scene that could be found in common life in the Renaissance. No church here. Please proceed right and press your headphones into the next exhibit. Our next painting is by Sofinisba Anguissola, circa 1570 to 1590. It is called Three Children and a Dog, and it contains secular. Three Children and a Dog subject matter, Three Children and a Dog, do not hold any connections with the Catholic Church, along with their unique expressions and style. The scene depicted in Three Children and a Dog looks like a glimpse into the real life, using mannerism to make the children look more angelic. Sofinisba Anguissola used her own developed art style for Three Children and a Dog, celebrating the beauty of her diverse artistic freedom with this piece. Please proceed right and plug your headphones into the next exhibit to continue your tour. Our next painting is View of Toledo by El Greco, circa 1596 to 1600. View of Toledo shows qualities of secularism. View of Toledo focused mainly on the achievements of the Renaissance society, mainly the agriculture aspects. It was also a landscape painting, which was also a very popular subject for secular artists. Please proceed to the next side of the exhibit. Plug your headphones into the next jack. Thank you. Our next painting is The Peasant Wedding. It is by Peter Bruegel. Circa 1567. The Peasant Wedding shows qualities of secularism. The Peasant Wedding displays a scene from ordinary life in the Renaissance era. While marriage is a sacrament, the Peasant Wedding does not have any content that has any correlation with the Roman Catholic Church. No accessory or illusion in sight. This painting also shows and celebrates the hard work of peasants that was often overlooked in normal painting. Therefore, it celebrates some sort of aspect of human life. Please proceed to the next exhibit. Plug your headphone into the next jack provided. Thank you. Our next painting is The Old Man and His Grandson by Domenico Gerardo, circa 1490. An old man and his grandson shows properties of secularism. This painting displays a scene that could be found in ordinary life in the Renaissance era, while also carrying some heavy symbolism. An old man and his grandson does not have any content that has any correlation with the Roman Catholic Church, and instead focuses on the human subjects and the relationship held between them. This painting also has a landscape painting in the back, which again was a very popular subject for secular artists. Please proceed to the next exhibit. Plug your headphones into the next jack provided. Proceed right. Thank you. Our next painting is Ill-Matched Marriage by Quentin Mastis, circa 1525 to 1530. Ill-Matched Marriage displays a scene that could be found in ordinary life in the Renaissance era. Ill-Matched Marriage does not have any content that has a correlation with the Roman Catholic Church, and instead focuses on the human subjects. It also shows the darker side of human relationships in the Renaissance era, something that wasn't talked about much, or really painted. Most marriages in the Renaissance were bought or fixed, and some people didn't even have a choice of who they could fall in love with. It was a tragic side that this artist decided to explore. Ill-Matched Marriage uses contrast to highlight the relationship between the peasants and the mating. Notice the contrast between the angelic face of the woman and the hellish likenesses of the peasant's face. This is done through the woman's perspective, which is another small thing that secular artists tend to do. Please proceed to the next station. Plug your headphones into the next jack provided. Proceed right. Thank you. Our next painting is A Forest at Dawn with a Deer Hunt by Peter Paul Rubens. A Forest at Dawn with a Deer Hunt shows qualities of secularism. It focused mainly on the beauty and nature that many non-secular artists chose to ignore. It also was a landscape painting, which is a very popular topic among secular artists. Peter Paul Rubens also had an extremely distinguishable art style, with it being light to dark. Burlesque shading was his most popular form of art. Please proceed to the next exhibit. Plug your headphone into the jack provided. Thank you. Proceed right. Our next painting is Venus and Cupid by Artemisia Gentileschi, circa 1625 to 1630. Venus and Cupid shows characteristics of humanism. It depicts a scene from Roman mythology, using the characters Venus, the goddess of love, and Cupid, her child. Venus and Cupid uses mathematical techniques to create depth in the painting within it. Venus is painted as the humanistic view of beauty in the Renaissance era. Humanistic beauty standards for the Renaissance have women that are bigger than the typical American, or in fact European body size standard. This was because women who worked in the fields were considered a little bit homely since they didn't eat that much, and women with pale skin and a little bit of meat on their bones were considered beautiful, because it was a sign of wealth. There is also no correlation with the Roman Catholic Church or any of its values. Please proceed to the right and put your headphones into the next jack. Thank you. Big Fish Eats Little Fish shows quality of humanism and secularism. This painting is by Peter Paul Bruegel, circa 1525 to 1569. Big Fish Eats Little Fish doesn't show a scene from normal life within the Renaissance period, but instead shows the artist's interpretation. This is early Impressionism. In Big Fish